BIGPLAY Cleveland Show presented by FanDuel. I'm Gabriella Cruz alongside Chris McNeil, Nick Padone. A big shout out to our producer today is Pat McGuire. A blast from the past. Hey, Pat. We've got so much to get into. I know nobody was that excited over the Browns game, but we did see some bright spots there. Chris, you get to celebrate the Ohio State win, and
huge win.
Yeah,
Absolutely huge win. Man, did that feel good? After 4 tries failing and 6 years overall, finally getting that monkey off our back. Ryan Day getting that monkey off of his back. And this is the great part about rivalries, right? We've got so many big games. You've got like the Super Bowl, you've got the World Series, you got the NBA championship that are also commercialized. Then you've got Ohio State versus Michigan, where not only do you have the play on the field, you've also got everything around the field and the fans getting into it. You've got Brutus out there Xing out M's in the end zone.
I liked your meme. If these kids could read, they'd be really offended right now.
Right? You highlight that with the script Ohio down there. Everybody gets into it. The nation's eyes are on this, and it is also just fan-driven, right? And that's what makes it fun. And then ultimately, the ultimate fun is beating Michigan, and that's exactly what happened. Sets us up for a great run. We've got Indiana this week, then on to the playoffs, Nick. We've been talking about it all year long. I love the talent on this team. I love Julian Saint. I love those 2 wideouts that are just fantastic. The defense for Matt Patricia is just out of this world. This team is cooking right now, and I'm excited to see what's next.
It's funny, this time last year we were saying, like, is Ryan Day going to have a job? And now it's like everything working out in his favor, positive glowing reviews on Twitter and all around from the student athletes themselves. Nick, what'd you take away from it?
Yeah, really cool. That was needed so bad, too, because had they lost that game, and man, it was worrisome the first couple drives. It was like, here we go again. I definitely got scared a little bit. So it was just needed. And it honestly feels like order has been restored now in college football. Like, this feels like things are back to the way they needed to be. Like, Urban Meyer, I think it's underscored like his dominance against Michigan with that 7-0 record. And most of those were performances like what we saw Saturday. Like, most of Urban Meyer's wins against Michigan were games that were not even close. So it was nice to see Ryan Day finally exercise some of those demons. And it just feels really good. It's crazy the difference watching college football on Saturday and the NFL on Sunday if you live here in Ohio.
Well, absolutely. Then even you fast forward to the end of that ball game, the way they handled the victory, I was really proud of the Buckeyes because they had every right to celebrate in whatever way they wanted to. You just beat your rival after 4 straight times. They planted a flag last year down here in Columbus. So you had every right to do what you wanted. They literally took the high road. They jumped up into the stands, and there's what's going to be an iconic photo of the Michigan players all out there at midfield protecting their logo. Apparently, they had a plan in place pregame, quote unquote, in case they lost, knowing they were going to lose that game. And now you see them at midfield. You see all the Ohio State players just lined up in there with the fans. There were so many fans in that stadium. Great atmosphere. Way to go, Buckeyes. Now let's keep that momentum into the playoffs.
I think that was cool. It looked like there might have been a mild attempt, but that Ryan Day kind of shut it down there at the end of the game. And I think that was totally perfect.
And Ryan Day had every reason to dance on their grave if he wanted to as well, just because of the last 4 seasons. And even dating back to the Harbaugh years with like the born on third base comment. And Sherrone Moore had his jabs after he got the best of Ryan Day. So like Ryan Day had every excuse to like have his own little mini parade, but he didn't. Took the high road, said the Buckeyes are going to win with humility. That's a reflection of our program, and ultimately, feels just really good to win this game.
At the end of the game, amongst all the confusion and everybody out there, he walks up to Sherrone Moore, says, "Hey, send your guys into the locker room. We're not going to plant the flag here today."
He said, "Hey, get your players off my field here." No.
Yeah, right?
Cardale Jones had the tweet. He's like, AI will plant the damn flag, and he had like a little Brutus doing the flag plant there. So we'll deal with that. We can live with that. Cardale Jones, shout out to you. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this.
Cleveland headlines are brought to you by our friends at Northeast Factory Direct. Whether you're remodeling your kitchen, updating your furniture, freshening up that patio, or just looking for a new mattress, Northeast Factory Direct is the place for you. There's no fancy showrooms, no high-pressure salespeople, just great items at even better prices. And it gets even better for you guys that follow along with our show. When you're getting ready to check out at Northeast Factory Direct, make sure to ask for that extra special big play bonus. You're going to get an extra hookup on top of their unbelievable prices. Visit them today. Cleveland, Euclid, Macedonia, North Canton. Check them out online at northeastfactorydirect.com and remember to ask for that extra special big play bonus.
Browns lost it at home. 49ers took it 26-8. I know we had the weather affect things. McNeil, you were at the game?
I was. I made the trek up here, went to the game, brought the kids, which a lot of fun there, sitting in my normal section there in 310, and watched pretty pathetic display once again of football. I mean, especially from the special teams, giving them continually short fields all afternoon and then expecting the Browns defense to hold up. I mean, it was bad display there, Nick, and it was not very much fun to be in the stands. The stands were filled with, by the way, a lot of San Francisco 49ers fans on that day, but not a whole lot to cheer for. I think the biggest cheer came for Quinshon Judkins as they introduced him at the beginning of the game, a little bit for Shedeur after that, and then just an afternoon that was not pretty.
Yeah, it was the first time they were able to introduce their starting offense at home, because had they introduced them before this, they would have gotten booed. And you saw the boo birds come out when Dylan Gabriel had to replace for Shedeur Sanders for just to play there.
And in intros also for Jerry Jeudy. They started a little early there. They were booing him during
and rightfully so.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the scene that's going to be at the stadium for the rest of their home games, because this is a completely uninspiring product. They've got 5 regular season games to go here, and they're technically still not mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, but the season is dead, and we've all felt that feeling for a really long time. And you have these glimpses of hope, when you beat bad teams like the Raiders and the Dolphins. And the good news for the Browns is they do play a team in their stratosphere this weekend. They are a lot closer to the Tennessee Titans, who are by far the worst, most embarrassing team in the National Football League, than they are to a playoff contending team like the 49ers. That's just the current state of affairs. This is a bad football team. You're looking at a game where you had 2 muffed punts, you had a 66-yard punt return, and that's still not the most embarrassing thing that happened on special teams. That's when Malachi Corley toe-tapped. And I know there are a lot of people that want to fire Kevin Stefanski, fire Bubba Ventrone. I'll give him maybe a little bit of credit, because at least Malachi Corley was prepared to drag both of his toes in bounds. You dummy, that cost them 40 yards of offense had that penalty flag have been thrown. They just can't do anything right, guys, and it genuinely looks like a situation right now that is in just a need to just strip it all the way down. You've got to be looking at a new head coach, a new general manager, new coordinators. You just need a fresh start on this thing.
Nick, this organization preaches accountability all the time. We got to be accountable. We got to be accountable. Why is Bubba Ventrone still here? If everyone's accountable to everyone else, why does he still have a job?
Well, Chris, the good news is that Kevin Stefanski said after the game that they'll get it coached up.
Oh, okay.
So everyone can breathe easy, understanding that they're going to plan on getting it coached up ahead of Week 14's matchup with the Tennessee Titans. We could all take a deep breath. They've got it handled. They're going to get it coached up. They're going to be better.
Some of the worst special teams I've ever seen out of the Cleveland Browns. And it's just frustrating every single week. You know we're not good enough on offense. You know the defense is pretty good. So right there at the margin that we talk about all the time, you've got to be good. You can't make mistakes. Every single week on special teams, this team makes huge mistakes.
I've been told by actual NFL football coaches before that you try to have if your special teams could just be a wash, that's a win. That's a win. If your special team's just a wash, you're cleanly fielding kicks, you're cleanly fielding punts,
layups.
You're good on special teams. You don't got to worry about special teams. The Browns are so far from even just being able to do that. Even coming out in a wash, Belichick's teams used to preach, we win on special teams. You don't even have to worry about winning on special teams. You are actively handing games away because of special teams. Chris, in total yardage, the Browns outgained the 49ers.
By 1 yard.
Right? And they lost that game 26-8. It wasn't even close.
Yeah. What do you think comes first, the chicken or the egg on this? Are some of these mistakes a product of some of the tension that exists among the coaching staff? staff and then that trickling down to the players and the pressure that they have to deal with on field? Or do you think it's a matter of the players just not playing their best?
It's losing cultures and losing players. Like Jerry Jeudy is the textbook definition. And like people got so sick of, and it felt like we had eradicated same old Browns. Like when Jarvis Landry came to town and he did his big contagious speech, like it felt like we kind of got rid of same old Browns. Those were old veteran players who were problem children in their former environments, and they come to Cleveland, they get a big payday, and they don't really care what happens. That's Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is a loser. Go look up what Steve Smith Sr. had to say about him.
Yeah.
He is JAG, just a guy. He's not a wide receiver number 1. He's not a wide receiver number 2. He is just a run-of-the-mill wide receiver that the Browns tripped over themselves to trade actual draft assets to the Denver Broncos, who couldn't believe that they got a 4th and 5th round pick for a guy that they probably otherwise would have just cut loose. And then they had to pay him $41 million guaranteed.
Extended him. Yeah.
So like that's what they do. They continue to they make this bed, Gab, for themselves, and then they're forced to lay in it because of the situation that they create. Like it's the same thing with the quarterbacks.
At what point do you think Jerry Jeudy shouldn't be out there? Like, at what point do you think his attitude and his antics, I mean, even getting in Shedeur's face,
probably 10 to 14 business days ago, like he should be benched. Like the fact that we're now benching guys, like that's a new. Well, I guess we soft bench guys because Wyatt Teller was benched for bad performance, and he's rotating in and out with Tevin Jenkins. So like they can't even properly bench players. Yeah, like Jerry Jeudy should be off the field. You got 3 wins. You're not doing anything this year. They're in developmental mode. Unfortunately, one of the guys that you're trying to develop muffed 2 punts, so I'm sure his confidence has got to be cooked. So it's all it's all dead. Like this is just the makings of a dead organization that's going nowhere, and they need to just fire everybody and start over. It's the unfortunate truth.
And it's also the cap hell that we're in right now.
Yeah.
Where do you see the backups, the guys who would perform on special teams are the guys that you can't pay as much to, so you can't attract that level of talent. Usually you've got your top end guys, and you've got the next level there. The next level is depleted. You don't have resources at that level, and you don't see the production out of it. Not taking anything off of Bubba Ventrone, it all begins and starts with him there with the special teams. Coaching has been awful, but I also believe that the way this organization is set up, the way that we've spent money has really landed us in this situation where you have special teams that don't have a whole lot of talent.
Some of the talent we did see was Schlesinger once again with over 10 tackles for the 4th game in a row, his 6th time overall. Nick, I know you had some thoughts on maybe the longevity or the sustainability of the intensity he plays with.
I'm excited about Carson Schlesinger. Like, he should run away with NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. I thought Kevin Stefanski had a funny line because Myles Garrett finally won his first Defensive Player of the Week, and he said that they could hand it to him every week for all he cares, and that probably would be the right decision to make. It doesn't matter, though. Like, all of these guys are so dominant. This defense is genuinely Super Bowl caliber, and the team has 3 wins because their identity is try to sack quarterback 10 times, punt football, and score a couple of points. And if you can't win that way, you're not going to win these games. The Browns don't try to win games. They try not to lose. And that just does not work in the modern National Football League. Like, I love Schlesinger. I love Garrett, but I feel like they're kind of wasting their time. Like, I really do. I can't shake that feeling.
Schlesinger getting all kinds of tackles out there. He's all over the field. And if you see him live, you will see that guy covers from sideline to sideline, play after play. His name is constantly called out there. And then Myles, of course, gets another sack there. So they're collecting those accolades there. The defense has been good, but like you said, it's empty calories. We're not building upon that. We're not building upon a great defense because our offense stinks and our special teams are just awful.
What did you think about the quietness, I guess, of David Njoku lately?
I think the handwriting is on the wall. Here's a guy that's age 30 that's entering free agency, and they probably could have traded him a couple of weeks ago, ultimately decided not to. And Harold Fannin Jr. is the new owner of that role. Like, I really think Njoku's situation is as clear-cut as that. He's got 2 catches for less than 30 yards over the last 2 weeks combined. Like, this is just a new look at what the tight end room is going to be. And I think they ultimately decided not to trade him at the deadline because maybe you could try to work out some sort of David David Njoku return on a veteran-friendly contract where he comes back and kind of plays second fiddle to Harold Fannin Jr., but that's the reality of the situation that we're looking at now. Like, they're in talent evaluation mode. It's going to be a lot of young players the rest of the way.
Yeah. Our Harold Fannin Jr. anytime touchdown once again pays out. It used to be David Njoku we go through for every week. Now we're looking at Harold Fannin. Another nice play for him. Nice touchdown.
But what's sad is, like, we're talking about these bright spots, and obviously the defense has plenty of them. The offense is the same as it was last year. So, like, when Kevin Stefanski consistently goes up there and says, we're going to be better, we're going to fix this, like, Kevin, how? Because this is the same thing. This is the same thing last year, right? The offensive line is worse and older, and the only two bright spots are a rookie running back and a rookie tight end. That's simply not enough. Like, those, you're not building towards anything except more mediocrity.
We got to take a break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland and our featured interview right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. It's time for our Garage Beer featured interview. Garage Beer is the perfect beer for any occasion. It's small batch, no frills, no bitterness. It's just beer that tastes like beer. The garage is always open with Garage Beer. And now we welcome on a very special guest, friend of show, ESPN senior college football reporter Jake Trotter. Thanks for joining us.
What's going on, guys?
Glad you were safe travels on your way back from Michigan yesterday. We want to talk about the big win for the Buckeyes against that team up north yesterday. Glad you made it back safe. I know it was a little crazy, but what did you think when you were there? What did the Buckeyes do differently this year?
Yeah, they played their game. It just felt like in recent years they have not been the same when they played Michigan. Last year especially. I don't know if Will Howard was hurt. I don't know if they wanted to prove a point in that game by, we're the tougher team. We can run between the tackles. Whatever it was not the same Ohio State team we saw all year, especially in the playoff. The way they bounced back. Or Saturday, they were the same team we'd seen all year. They threw the ball downfield to Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith, controlled the line of scrimmage, shut down a pretty average Michigan offense. And, the better team won the game. And I think that Ohio State showed that when they play the way that they have played, that they are the better team right now in that rivalry. So I thought it was really impressive, especially the way they bounced back after kind of the disastrous beginning. You're like, oh no, is this really going to happen again after the big Marshall run? And then Julian Sayin throws the pick on the second snap of Ohio State's first possession. But they held both those drives to field goals, which I thought was key.
Yeah.
It's a lot different being down 6-0 to 14. And then they just steamrolled the rest of the way.
Yeah, and 6-0 was the biggest deficit that Ohio State had seen all year long, which is just unbelievable and quite a testament to this defense. What do you think about Ohio State's defense, what Patricia's been able to put together this season, building upon what was a really good defense last year?
Yeah, I think I saw the stat. They have not given up more than 16 points all season. The last team to do that through 12 games was 1975 Florida. I guess the 75 Gators had a great defense. I have no recollection of that team whatsoever. It's been really impressive. Yeah, the schedule has been a little bit down, just the way the Big Ten has shaken out this year. But still, I mean, you held Texas to 7, you held Michigan to 9, you obliterated everyone else. And we're going to see what they do against Indiana. I'm really interested to see, how that game goes, because it's by far the best team that Ohio State will have faced all year. But yeah, I mean, and you look at their defense, I mean, there are no weaknesses. The corners have really stepped up. Caleb Downs is still a superstar. The linebacking core is incredible. Arvell Reese can do so many things, and Sonny Styles is great. And then, Curry and those guys up front on the defensive line. It's not easy to control the line of scrimmage against Michigan. I don't care how many points a game they're scoring. That's still a good front, and they just impose their will. So yeah, it's a defense that has been consistently dominant all year. And one thing Matt Patricia has done, the big difference between Jim Knowles and Patricia, Jim Knowles runs a pretty complex scheme. It takes a little time to pick up. You saw that from Penn State this year. You saw it at Ohio State. It took a couple of years before the defense cranked up a different level. And with Patricia, he's just letting guys play. He's putting them in position, go play. And I think that's helped Arvell Reese more than anybody defensively, where he's just running around like a maniac making plays all over the field. So, it's the best defense in college football. They've got one of the best offenses, certainly passing game, although you've seen the running game really elevate the last month or two with Bo Jackson taking over as the primary ball carrier. It's a complete team, and I think they're the clear favorite to win the national championship. Ohio State's never won back-to-back titles before. They've got a great chance to do it this year.
So with that in mind, that's the goal for this team, how are they going to approach this Big Ten championship? You're coming off this big rivalry game. You've got the looming playoff. How do they treat this game with Indiana?
They're going to try to win it. I mean, they're not taking this game off. I think nationally, and even I think with Ohio State fans, you guys would probably know better than I, but it's certainly not as big a deal as beating Michigan. It's obviously not as big a deal as the playoff, but Ohio State hasn't been to the Big Ten championship game since 2020 now.
Yeah.
So this is still meaningful, and with the expanded Big Ten, it's not nothing to win the Big Ten championship. But I think more than anything, you win the Big Ten, you go to the Rose Bowl, you get the number 1 overall seed, you're in a position to make that run in the playoff. Your path is going to be easier than it was last year, where you're coming out of the first round, and then you had to play the top seed Oregon in the Rose Bowl and go from there.
Jake, how impressed were you with Julian Sayen's day and being able to bounce back from that early interception? And do you think that win, because it's against Michigan with the 4 straight and all that stuff, do you think it really does help his Heisman campaign, as we're about to see the top 2 Heisman contenders go at it in this Big Ten championship game here?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the winner of the Big Ten championship obviously is going to go to New York. I think he's got a great chance to win it. Pavia from Vanderbilt's getting a little bit of buzz. I mean, I think Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame should be a finalist. He's absolutely phenomenal. Best running back in the country. But yeah, I think if Julian Sayen outplays Mendoza and Ohio State rolls, he's going to have a pretty compelling case for the Heisman. He slowed down a little bit without his receivers the last couple of weeks, but like any quarterback, missing those 2 guys or missing your top 2 receivers, you're not going to put up the same numbers. He's going to break the FBS record for completion percentage in a season set by Bo Nix. I think last I checked, Sayen was at 79-80. I don't know how the Michigan game affected that. The record is 77%. So he's going to break that, which is a pretty incredible feat for a first-year quarterback. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think he's got a great case, and if he beats Indiana, he's going to be probably the favorite going into Heisman week. But this could be a close vote. I think this will be a pretty close vote between the 2 quarterbacks. Love potentially Pavia, and then we'll kind of see what else happens on conference championship weekend.
Fast forwarding to the playoff here, Jake. Last year, all 4 teams with the bye all lost in their first round. Was that a fluke, or is that something you're looking for and seeing? Was that going to happen again this year?
I think that was more a product of the format. So last year, remember, it was the top 4 conference champions, not necessarily the top 4 teams. This year, it's the top 4 teams. So you're not going to have a Boise State, get a bye. You're going to have 2 Big Ten teams. I think Ohio State and Indiana are both going to get a bye, regardless of what happens in the Big Ten championship. You're going to have the SEC champion, probably Texas Tech, but a Texas Tech team that's been, they're not sneaking into the playoff. They have been absolutely dominant in throughout the season. Really, they're beating people by 50. It feels like every week. So that I think played into what happened last year, where the top seeds went down. You're just gonna have better top 4 seeds than we had last year.
Jake, are you gonna be telling your grandkids about the Lane Kiffin saga someday, and where you were and what you were doing as this all unfolded?
I've been in these situations before over the years where you're covering a story and is this ever going to end? You're just over it after a day. So I was empathizing with Mark Schlabach and Marty Smith and our crew that was dealing with that, because it really felt like, is this gonna go through the entire weekend? I mean, we know what's gonna happen. We know he's going to LSU.
Yeah.
Can we just get this over with already? I've been camped out at airports before. Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. Ole Miss has had such a great year, and now he's gone. They don't have their coach. That almost happened, ironically, with Brian Kelly and LSU a few years ago, where Notre Dame was still alive. I can't remember the circumstances, but they were still alive in a 14 playoff situation. They needed like one upset, and he had gone already, and they almost made the playoff. And now, you have this with Lane, and sadly, it's probably not going to be the last time this happens. And it's like, what are we doing where we can't even finish the season and a head coach leaves? And you hear coaches and ADs and presidents and university leaders, they whine about the transfer portal and players not having loyalty and tampering. But all along, coaches have done the same thing at a greater magnitude. And that's why I've never really bought into that argument. Because, I mean, look what happened, it's crazy that a head coach would leave. And Ole Miss didn't just sneak in. I mean, they're probably going to host a first-round matchup. And we just don't have a good system when, you're losing your head coach before the playoff. But listen, I mean, LSU, it's the second time they've done it where they've gone after a coach who was potentially going to make the playoff, and in this case did make the playoff.
Jake, I want to ask you about the Browns, of course, because Shedeur Sanders is the unavoidable topic. Where do you come out on his first two starts with the Browns? Obviously was able to get the win in Vegas against the Raiders. Not so successful in the loss to the Niners. Feels like everybody is just crazy when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. Where do you fall on the entire thing?
Yeah, I'm still intrigued. I think that obviously I want to see him play the rest of the year to get us a pretty good sample size of what his potential is. I think that he's shown enough flashes where could you see a scenario in which he becomes the I don't know if franchise quarterback is the right word, but a guy you want to give a little bit more time to. So maybe you don't draft a quarterback in 2026. But at the same time, like he's got some issues he's got to work out, like taking the bad sacks. I think part of it too is just this offense it's just brutal to watch sometimes. Throw the ball down the field, like they get away from that. What did they do at I know the weather was horrible. It was so bad. Yeah. I don't know if you guys were downtown, but it was absolutely.
Oh yeah, brutal. I was there, Jake. It was pretty darn bad.
I was like, that's the one thing that kills me is the cold and the wind up here. So I think that limited a little bit of what they were going to do with him. But yeah, like I think he's played well. I wanted to see more, but I don't think it's been enough to really for me at least, to make a determination either way. And if it kind of goes along like this, where he's pretty good but not phenomenal, but not horrible, it's going to leave them with a pretty interesting decision in the draft, especially if they end up with the top 5 pick. Like, what do you do? Do you draft someone like Mendoza or Dante Moore if he comes out? Do you take a swing on somebody like Lenora Sellers, maybe lower in the draft? Or do you ride out another year with Shedeur? And I think what would really help the Browns is if Shedeur showed enough to where, all right, like, let's do this another season. Let's roll with him another season. And then let's address left tackle. Let's address wide receiver. This offense has so many holes in it. I realized this yesterday. When they inexplicably bench Wyatt Teller, I still don't understand. Like, that's the guy you bench from this offense?
On his birthday, nonetheless, right?
His 100th career.
100th start. 100th start. Okay, that's what it was. Not his birthday, his 100th start.
Yeah. Like, they're going to have 5 new offensive linemen next year.
Wow.
Teller was the only one I was wondering, could he be back? I mean, you're not going to bring him back and you're not going to start him going forward. Luke Whippler is going to be the center. If Petonio retires, you got another hole at guard. And then you have to do something differently at tackle. Like, they could have 5 new offensive linemen. That's not easy to do, obviously, in one offseason. And I think the entire receiving core is I don't. Do they have a future rotation receiver right now? I'm not sure that they do. So other than Judkins and Fannin and Dylan Sampson, I guess, is your third down back, you basically are going to have to replace the entire offense in the next year or two.
So where does all that leave Dylan Gabriel, do you think, at this point?
Yeah, I mean, I what they did this year just completely kneecapped Dylan Gabriel because they really believed in him. Mm-hmm. Obviously, they took him in the third round, but then to take Shedeur in the fifth, it kneecapped Dylan Gabriel from the beginning. You saw it yesterday. Like, he comes on the field for a play, what happens? He gets booed.
Yeah.
He just really had no chance, I think, to settle into whatever role he was going to have here with Shedeur lurking behind him. And then, you go through an entire offseason with the veterans, Pickett and Flacco, and then they're not even here a month into a season. The whole management of the quarterback situation, I think, has been puzzling. And now, I mean, if you do draft a quarterback, it doesn't feel like Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur will both be back. It doesn't feel like you're going to have Shedeur, Dylan, and a rookie. That's going to be your quarterback room next year. I just can't see that happening. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know that, like, Gabriel has any trade value. And I think that you're going to want to hang on Shedeur, based on some of the potential he's flashed. But yeah, like, I think that they, if it didn't work out with Gabriel, they saw him, okay, like, he could be our Case Keenum. He could be our long-term backup. But frankly, I don't think he's shown enough where I would pencil him in as your long-term backup. Like, I don't think he performed even well enough to be a competent backup quarterback. Maybe he gets there, but I didn't see it in the games he started. So yeah, it's a really strange situation for them going forward. And I think a lot of it is going to hinge on what Shedeur does this last month. If he plays like he did in the Raider game more consistently, you're going to feel like maybe you have something, you want to kick the can down the road on drafting a quarterback. If he's more like, combination of yesterday and the Ravens game, you're probably still going to have to draft a quarterback in the top 5. So they're in a weird spot. But again, like, I don't know that any quarterback is going to do much with this offense. It's just not very good in every way, shape, and form.
Well, that'll be our ending note. Jake Trotter, thank you so much for joining us. ESPN senior college football reporter. We always appreciate you taking your time to be with us and offer your insights, and glad you're out of the snow.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See ya.
We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more Big Play Cleveland right after this. The Big Play Sports Network is brought to you by Garage Beer. No bitterness, no frills, no IPA, just beer-flavored beer. Find local retailers who sell garage beer near you by visiting drinkgaragebeer.com. Welcome back to the Big Play Cleveland Show. This Smart Choice segment is brought to you by Smart Choice Windows. And right now at Smart Choice Windows, you can get 50% off all windows during their limited time promotion, plus take advantage of their special financing with no money down and no interest until 2027. If you're looking to upgrade your whole exterior, Smart Choice Windows is offering $1,500 off siding for your entire home and $500 off entry door installation to boost your curb appeal. And remember that every project starts with a free, no-pressure estimate. So give them a call at 844-GET-SMART or visit smartchoicewindows.com and make sure to ask about the Big Play bonus to get an additional 10% off all promotions. All right, gang, I'm giving you the scenario. We're painting the smart choice here. Yesterday's loss for the Browns guarantees their second straight losing season. That's the fourth in the last 5 years. The smart choice this offseason would be...
Oh, I hate to say it, but I think a hard reset on this entire organization right now. I'm done with Stefanski. He's had 6 years. We're no better than what we were 6 years ago, and probably in some facets of the game a lot worse. Andrew Berry, I know he had a great draft this last one. We're starting to see, we were just talking about the offensive players, the Harold Fannins of the world, the Quinshon Judkins of the world, what he's done on the defensive side of the ball. Mason Graham looks like he's playing well. Schlesinger has been good, but it's just a little bit too little too late for me out of Andrew Berry. All those lost drafts in between are the reason we're as bad as we are right now. So I'm looking for a hard reset. And oh, by the way, get rid of Bubba Ventrone now. We could have done that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, any point in this season. Please get rid of Bubba Ventrone.
I look at it like this because I think, unfortunately for Stefanski, because I do believe that there still is a good head coach somewhere in there, but it's just not going to happen here. It's never going to happen here. It is what it is at this point. he is a dead man walking. But for the people that want to keep Andrew Berry, riddle me this, right? Like the Browns offensive line and the Browns receivers in 31 other NFL markets, enough to get a general manager fired, right?
Yeah.
Like this current Jerry Jeudy situation and the current state of the offensive line with all these guys being free agents and seemingly having no contingency plan, that's enough to get a GM fired. And we haven't even addressed the quarterback nightmare. So, like, he has way more working against him than what he has working for him.
We're not even
when you look at the full body of work.
Deshaun Watson.
Right, the Deshaun Watson. That's what I'm saying. And then the 2 rookie quarterbacks, and then the lack of planning to get off of the Deshaun Watson thing. Like, it's completely sunk, in my opinion. I do think the smart choice would genuinely be finding a new head coach, a new general manager that could do this thing their own way. Because whatever we've tried to do for the last 6 years, it just has not worked.
Okay, the follow-up question. Do they do it, though? And I don't know that the Browns do. I honestly don't think that they do. There's so much loyalty in this organization, even to mediocrity. We saw it with Hugh Jackson back in the day, 0-16. That's okay. Come on back. We'll give you a try next season. I think they continue to do the same thing and expect different results.
The old insanity bit. Pro Bowl voting opened this week. If you wanted to vote for some deserving Browns players, or is it more of a judging by that groan? Is it kind of like a who cares thing?
Are we still doing the Pro Bowl? Can we
They
just
moved
end this
it.
thing?
It's Super Bowl week now.
Okay.
I think they're doing it on like Tuesday before the Super Bowl.
Is it a game, or are we playing like tiddlywinks?
No, it's
or
like,
what are we doing?
Yeah, like they'll have like,
Are they playing
card
Madden?
games. Yeah, that
Gonna
kind of
sim it?
stuff. Yeah. I think Miles deserves to be there, obviously. I think Schlesinger deserves to be there.
Agreed.
Denzel Ward has quietly had a really good year. You're going to send a lot of defensive players, and it's going to infuriate people, and myself included, even more so, because you will have a lot of Pro Bowlers this year. You'll be well represented, and it does not matter because the team is dead because you have no offense, you have no identity, and it is the second consecutive year of this.
The hardest working man in football, Corey Borges, is he going to be there too? I know the special teams have sucked. He hasn't been that great, but I'll tell you what, in terms of pure quantity of kicks,
there's a volume.
That guy's up there. There's a volume.
Yeah. If you had to predict who will win the AFC North this season, the smart choice is.
Man, oh man, it has been ugly. We thought this division was really going to be something this year with all the quarterbacks coming back, everybody healthy. You look at what the Steelers were trying to do with Aaron Rodgers. You thought, okay, this is going to be an ultra competitive division. It's been anything but right now, Nick. I watched that game on Thanksgiving between the Ravens and the Bengals, and it struck me how bad this division is right now. I think the Ravens eventually do rise to the top, but I could see either them. I could see the Steelers up there. I don't think the Bengals are going to creep back in, but they're only a couple of games back. So anything's possible in this division other than the Browns finishing anywhere but in the basement.
And doesn't that infuriate you even more? That if there ever was a year to be a surprise team, it would have been this year because the AFC North is such a mess and the Browns just can't get out of their own way. How about in Pittsburgh? The fire Tomlin chants. They booed Renegade. I have an idea. If that happens, that would be my top choice.
Wow. Okay, Nick.
I think a lot of Browns fans, too.
Yeah.
We've been saying that for years. Pittsburgh has been dogging him and saying, man, it sucks to be 8-8, right around 500 or just squeaking into the playoffs. Just squeaking into the playoffs. Do you know how far we are right now as we sit here December 1st of 2025? We are so far away from the playoffs. We'd love to have a sniff of the playoffs right now in a division that's this bad. Everybody's got a shot except for us. I would love to have Tomlin. Give him to me. Give me just a chance to be in the playoffs every year.
A guy who knows how to create culture and win with the guys.
And that's the other big part, right? It comes down to culture. How many times have we talked about
Malachi
this
Corley
culture?
would have caught that ball if Mike Tomlin was coach?
Be a little different, wouldn't it?
If Mike Tomlin was coach and Malachi Corley caught that ball, guess who wouldn't be on the Cleveland Browns today?
You're right.
Malachi Corley.
This segment also brought to you by Smart Choice Baths. It's the perfect time to remodel your bathroom, and right now Smart Choice Baths is giving you $1,250 off your bathroom projects, plus a free luxury upgrade to add comfort and style. And just for Big Play listeners, you'll save an additional 10% on your project, so don't wait. Visit them at smartchoicebaths.com or give them a call at 844-GET-SMART to schedule your free consultation today. Smart Choice Baths, where luxury meets affordability.
Big play bets on the Big Play Cleveland Show presented by FanDuel. You know just how fast NFL game day moves. One big play and everything changes. That's why live betting on FanDuel is a game changer. With FanDuel, you could bet in real time while the game unfolds. If the score just flipped, you could jump on a new spread or a live money line. That wide receiver's heating up, bet the next touchdown score or total yards. Think that drive stalls in the red zone, take a live field goal prop, or just fade the total. It's a common one in Browns games. Live player props, team totals, drive results, updated spreads, next play markets. It's all right there. It's fast, it's fun, and with FanDuel, your live bets move as quickly as the game does. So whether you're riding momentum or fading the hype, FanDuel puts you right in the middle of every single moment. Visit FanDuel.com/bigplay to download the app today and bet the NFL live all season long. Got to be 21 plus, present in select states. Gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit rg-help.com.
All right, gang, the Browns are 3.5-point favorites at home against the Titans this week. The Titans are 1-11. So, I mean, we kind of predicted this type of matchup, or the way that Vegas did this. Do you want them? Oh, sorry. What do the Browns need to do to win this game, and do you want them to?
This one's another knife fight, right? We had the Jets, we had Miami, we had the Raiders. We've had a lot of bad NFL games here with the Browns featured, and you get another one here with the Titans. 3.5 points. I actually think the Browns defense, we know they've been good this year, right? And they'll be very good, I think, against the Tennessee Titans and their lackluster offense. On top of that, I think that we can make some corrections in the special teams just enough that the defense can carry the day, and if the offense gives us anything, I think the Browns can win this, and I'm going to take the Browns to cover because why not?
Yeah, the Browns could prove that they're of the best of the worst, and they can't even truly do that because the Jets beat them, because Dylan Gabriel was so inept there in the middle of the season. So this entire thing is really bad. I do think the Browns win this game. I do think they cover the 3.5. What does it matter? It really doesn't. It will give us
draft order.
It will give us a couple more weeks of hope. It will take us a little bit further out of the quarterbacks that are going to be there at the top with Ty Simpson and Fernando Mendoza. But ultimately, I do think the Browns defense is good enough to win this game, and keep an eye on Myles Garrett because that Titans offensive line is bad. And if there was a game for him to have 4 sacks and just to end this thing all at once, he could do it right against the Titans on Sunday.
The over-under opened at 34.5. Is there any way it goes under? I know, McNeil, you took the under the last 2 weeks.
It's the lowest of the year.
Yeah?
I have.
It's the lowest of the year.
Is
so
it?
League's
Is it?
telling you what to think of this
I
matchup.
still think we get under it. I'm going to go under on 34.5. How about that? We'll see what the weather does, but we've seen this Browns offense. It doesn't instill any faith in me, and you know what, the Titans have a very similar offense, so it's going to be an ugly one on the lakefront come Sunday. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of points. I think the points that do get scored are things with short fields, maybe turnovers. That's going to generate the points, and we're not going to see a whole lot of that, so give me the under.
Yeah, under.
How about the anytime touchdown score? Who's going to get in the end zone this week?
Harold Fannin, once again. Why not? We go every week with Harold Fannin, and he seems to pay off more often than not.
Fix it.
It's going to be either him or Quinshon Judkins, and I'm going to go with Fannin.
How about a sleeper bet?
Uh-oh.
How about we would take the Tennessee Titans defense or special teams and bank on a long kick return or a punt return going for a touchdown? There's usually great value, and if the Browns want to keep Bubba Ventrone around, we might as well profit a little bit off of it.
I love it.
All right,
I love
Nick.
it. Let's go with it.
It's sacrilegious as a fan, but hey, if you're trying to clean up and make that money, thank you for that.
That would be just the type of thing that had happened. That happens in the game, and the Browns still eke it out somehow, and you walk away from the stadium on Sunday going, what the heck did I just watch, right?
Hey, we want to remind you before we get out of here that there is the Top Dogs show that you can tune into every Tuesday at 7 p.m. for a full breakdown of everything Cleveland Browns with Hanford Dixon, Josh Cribbs, and Phil Taylor. Catch it live on X, YouTube, or the Big Play app. That's the Top Dogs show only on the Big Play Sports Network. That's a wrap for us, guys. We're hoping. Are you going to be there at the game next week too?
Not planning on it right now, although only time will tell. And we'll see if we can get rid of the tickets this week. If not, I will be up there in the seats at 310.
We'll catch you next week. Thanks for watching the Big Play Cleveland Show. We'll see ya.